I'm Seth in the sweats.
I'm Easy in the suits.
You're now listening to Sweats and Suits podcast.
Now give me 2 claps and a Ric Flair.
Sweats and Suits podcast. Sweats and Suits podcast.
You are now listening to Sweats and Suits podcast.
Hey man, welcome to another episode of Sweats and Suits podcast. I'm your host. I'm still looking for a new nickname at this point, since I'm wholesome now. You know,
He said I'm wholesome
'cause I'm
now.
wholesome. You know, I got a girlfriend going on 2 years now.
Yeah.
And we making big moves, you know what I'm saying? She about to move to the city, you know what I mean?
You know what I'm saying?
No,
Shout out to them.
I'll be able to say, hey, babe, 350. She know what that means. You know what I'm saying? Turn that oven on for some baked cookies. You know what I'm talking about? I got a couple of guests here with me because Seth, you know, he had to tend to a family matter. But, you know, God work in mysterious ways in order to bring the people together in order to get his message across. I got with me, some might know him as a mogul. You know,
Look at that.
clothing fashioneer.
That nigga said mogul.
Musical genius, you know what I'm saying? Introduce yourself, player.
I'm Duch. That's funny. Shout out to Dad. She hit me. She commented back and said she loved the song.
All right, I'm gonna tell y'all what Duch did for me. Well, I had an idea where I wanted to make something very thoughtful for my lady for her birthday. So, you know, Duch was kind enough to let me come in his hit factory, you know, and let me get out an idea to record a song. You know, he helped me write the lyrics. You know, did the beat. I sung on it a little bit. I thought it was too churchy. I thought it was way too churchy. I wanted to be more of a conversational piece.
Yeah.
So I was like, Duch, please do the verse for me. Don't do the words for me.
Yeah,
And,
because you wrote the first verse.
Yeah. Then I sent him some ideas on what we've been going through, how we met and everything. And he knocked it out the park from there. So if I had a hat on, I'll take it off to you, brother.
I appreciate that, dog.
Because I owe you one for that. And niggas don't be trying to steal my idea now. If you want to do it,
I'm going to be on the website. You got to find me on the website, whatever that website
Song
is.
Finch. It's called songfinch.com. Dude's going to be on there.
Yeah, I'm going to be on there. You know
So this one was a trial.
Yeah, y'all got to pay
Just
for it.
see how it
now.
went. But yeah, now I ain't got to pay.
On the real, now I know I can do it. Yeah.
I let some other people hear it. Niggas going crazy. Her family going crazy. They say, nigga, can you imagine how the proposal gonna be?
I fuck with that. I fuck
Yeah.
with that. I definitely fuck
So
with
again,
that.
man, I appreciate you for doing that,
Nah,
man.
man, anytime.
I owe you on that one.
Anytime, man.
Today's topic.
You forgot to introduce the other guy.
No, I'm gonna bring him in.
Oh, okay, my
I'm
fault.
gonna bring him in. You know, today's topic I wanted to treat with the most sincere severity and sensitivity in a way, because it's a topic that it's kind of like the elephant in the room to me as of late, because it's been happening so much, and some people don't like to say it by word or by name, but I think it's important to say it by name in order to address it. It's not so much giving it power, it's giving it more of awareness
Yeah.
to the subject. And I want to talk about suicide today.
Yeah, man. Especially coming off of today.
Yeah, today, as of today of this recording,
Or yesterday, yeah.
Yeah.
Of the recording.
it's been more present and prevalent in the eye of in social media and just media period, especially with celebrities committing suicide as of recently, as Jason David Frank, as we know, as the longest tenured Power Ranger.
Yeah.
You know, we know him as the Green Ranger. We know him as the White Ranger.
Yep.
And as of recently of this recording today, as Steven Twitch Boss, known as the DJ from the Ella DeGeneres Show.
Yeah.
And the guest I got on today had enough courage that he heard our last episode and heard our request just to have somebody come on and talk about their experience with suicide. And I think it's commendable and takes a lot of courage, to come out and tell your testimony of what you experienced. And actually, we can celebrate the win of him still being here with us on today, man, by overcoming that. So I want to bring on my cousin. I think we told y'all how we found out we were cousins. Some may know him as, all right, never mind. He live in Wholesome too. I ain't gonna bring that
up. Nah, you're different. You're a different dude now.
You're a different man now. But I want to bring on my guest, my cousin, my family member, my blood cousin, Charles Smith Jr.
Hey, I appreciate that, y'all. I appreciate that. I know this is like I said, we in a day and age now where social media has kind of put a spotlight on it. And I can say for myself that it's been 8 years since that has transpired. And so, first and foremost, I got to give grace to God because without him, and him like watch over me and help me understand that my story is not done yet. I just got to give, all grace to him. And I know for some who may be listening to this, hopefully this is uplifting. Hopefully it's not triggering.
Yeah, man.
But I hope my testimony, because it's been a very long time since I publicly spoke on this. And there's a lot of players that was a part of me still being here. So, I just want to, just start off by saying that. And, wherever questions may come along, I try my best to answer them and, hopefully give my journey to while I'm still here and while I decide to keep going. So, yeah.
Man, that's beautiful.
Yeah, man.
Because, like I said, it takes just even courage to come up here and even say that bit. But like I tell everybody, the reason why I podcast is because no matter what your story is or what you done been through or how fucked up it is or how good it is, you never know who is listening and how you can touch somebody and how they can take that testimony and do better with it.
That's a fact.
So before we dive into the story, I want to read off a couple things that I looked up online, and I looked up on the Suicide Prevention Resource Center. And I want to bring a couple things to our attention as we're doing this podcast. I want you to think about this while we're having these discussions and while we're having these just debriefs on certain things. So since 2020, suicide rates has increased for those aged from 15 through 44. It has increased since 2020. Suicide has been the second leading cause of death for youth ages 10 through 14 and adults 25 through 34.
That's crazy, dog.
In the past year, it has been reported over 12 million people had serious thoughts of committing suicide. 12 million people had thoughts of committing suicide. 3.2 million people made serious plans of committing suicide. So they went from thinking about it
to putting the plan
to
together.
putting the plan together.
Yeah.
1.2 million people is reported made suicide attempts in the past year.
So just making an attempt, not successfully.
Just making an attempt. So we went from over 12 million people having a thought to out of those 12 million people, 3.2 million made a plan, and out of those 1.2 million, which is roughly almost half went ahead and attempted. And in the past year, out of those 1.2 million people, 45,979 people were successful in committing suicide.
That's fucking nuts, dog.
Now I'm gonna pause right there. I want thoughts on that. I want some comments on that.
I know that rate is high in black men too. I don't know what the numbers are, but
I got that.
you do you? Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
But it's sad though, and I was talking to my mom about this today because she wanted to know like why did the DJ today take his life? Because her and my mom was like, he just looked so happy, and it's like you really don't know what people be going through, man.
Ooh.
Like, people put the facade up, and I think social media is a big player in that. Like people put this facade up like they happy, and in real life they really don't be, man.
To add on to that, we come from a day and age where that was taboo.
That too.
You know,
to even talk about that,
to even discuss it, because for us who has parents that's in the baby boomer age or come from the the 40s and 50s, 60s, 70s, that was a different realm for them, especially when you discuss something like suicide. You know, we come from the pray it away generation.
And they was going through so much other shit, dog.
So much.
And I can see how they probably would be. They probably would be there too.
Yeah.
Man,
going through so much, dog.
It's hard. It's hard because you hear a lot of older men. I was running into a lot of my OGs,
man.
And they was speaking about it like, you know, they was losing homeboys back in the day, and they had no clue why they, had did what they did, and they was still trying to wrap their brains around it. Like, hey, I'm talking about they well into their 55, 60 years old, and they trying to still wrap their brains around why did they God do that,
Yeah, man.
Scary.
That shit's scary, and it's just, man, it's sad, dog, because I wouldn't want somebody that I know to feel like they couldn't talk to me about something like that. But I know it's a hard thing to talk about to somebody because nobody wants that judgment. Nobody wants to be called crazy or nothing like that. But
bingo. The cliche.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you how deep it goes. It goes so far deep to me being an educator, have worked in social work for a very long time. I've seen how deep the ebbs and flows of the mental health aspect of it. And how kids now, when Cuzzo talk about those numbers that he just spit out, those numbers get heavier and deeper as you go lower in age.
Yeah, man.
And right now, statistically, you got people that's doing studies, college professors and analysts, they're doing all different type of studies trying to figure out these numbers, how to attack it.
Yeah.
Because right now, it's not just our age group. Kids right now that's 8, 9 years old is going through so many different mental complexes that that's going through their head, whether you think it or not. And man, it's like I said, we're gonna dive into it, but definitely, yeah.
Man, it's just crazy to think like when I was 8 and 9 years old, I was not thinking about that, bro.
Bro, it's just a thing of what we subjecting our kids to, especially with these tablets and cell phones in their hand, and they unsupervised.
Exactly.
Unsupervised. So we know what they seeing because we see it every day too.
I definitely see it every day.
But as an adolescent, they don't know how to interpret that. They don't know how to dictate what's real and what's not.
Exactly.
Therefore, then when they go interact with other people, they're gonna imitate what they've seen on these devices.
That's a fact.
That's why I've taken more of a serious approach of relegating what my daughter sees on her tablets and everything. I'm so happy I've woken up and realized the child prevention measures I have on those
like
particular devices.
The parental guidance and shit like that.
Yeah, got you.
Fam, over last year I deleted TikTok from her. I deleted YouTube. I deleted all that shit.
Yeah.
It's just the fact the way I seen the change in her demeanor and the way she was acting. Man. I was not going.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And I knew where that shit was stemming from.
All the shit that she taking in.
Like, nah.
People don't understand that, bro. The stuff that you take in, bro, that really affects.
Man, the stuff that they take in, even down to the music you play
Yeah,
around
bro. For real. That's what I'm saying. Anything that you take in, like visually, audibly, for the food, all that shit, bro. All that shit affects us.
I told her next, as soon as it get warm, we finna be some running fools. We gonna be on the track,
On the reels, bro.
all that.
For real, bro. All that shit affects us. Like I've been starting to take a backseat to some of the stuff that, like the negativity stuff that I watch and take in, and try to take in more positive stuff for sure.
And it's a lot, and it also goes into the spectrum of what people post. You know,
that too.
The content that people is putting out here.
That too.
You know, here's the thing. Here's the difference. You will have a thought, right? Or a lot of these barbershop and beauty salon discussions are now where, or I would say the card table conversations are now being broadcasted to where people are putting up posts, statements, opinions that you would think in your head, but now you kind of seeing it come across your algorithm constantly, and now it's triggering those thoughts in the back of your head. So now the left side of your brain is working differently than the right side of your brain, because you won't even think of that at first.
Yeah.
And now you is, like we say, triggered. You know, figure it, try like, why is that coming up? And now you're thinking of thoughts that you thought you would never even think of in a million years is now coming up in your head. You're like, wait, that's not me. And then people end up acting upon on those things, not realizing that those conversations, that's why I say a lot of these conversations now and what people are putting out here, this content, just to be putting stuff out.
Yeah, man.
You know, it's like, come on, y'all, like, you know, have some decency, you know, or, you know, come on now.
No, you're right, fam. You're definitely right, fam. Just because you got a platform don't mean that you got to put that shit out there.
Exactly.
All right, let me move to this part. Leading means of suicide. So this is like the cause of what they committed to suicide from. Firearm, 53% since 2020. Suffocation, 27% since 2020. Drugs, like overdose.
Overdose, yeah.
9% since 2020. Non-drug, 3%. Cut or piercings, 2%.
That's crazy, dog. Now that I'm thinking about it, though, I had a girlfriend back in 2000 that was, she would cut her arms like that, like with razor blades. I didn't know how far it went into it, but I would love to talk to her about that now. I'm thinking about it,
especially when I was coming up to like middle school and like my freshman in high school, I would see lines down people's arms.
Yeah.
Like horizontal lines.
And, you know, often you have to watch, like, I tell a lot of parents, watch what your child wears.
Yeah.
Like here in Houston, you know, I know we crack jokes about the kids wearing the hoodies in this weather.
Yeah.
But it's more so on a mental, the mental aspiration of why they wearing these hoodies is more so comforting for them. Because a lot of them are doing those things, the cutting, the piercing, probably even drug usage in different forms or fashion. You know, it may not be pills that they're popping. But the hoodies, like I said, gives them comfort where people can't see that. They feel like it's like an invisible cloak to them.
Yeah, they hide.
And it's not, and I swear, it's not just the kids that we talk, like you got to even pay attention to the adults also. And I'll be noticing all these things and just sitting back with, you know, comrades of mine in the fields, and I'll be like, we have these discussions and go in depth. And sometimes it be a lot of arguments, but they be healthy where we're trying to narrow down the reason is why these things are happening and what we can do to combat that. So
yeah. Did you make an attempt, Chuck?
So to answer your question, yes. I don't know how you want me to give it, but
no, I just want to just
yeah.
All right, before we get there, before we even get there,
okay,
let me read off these last two. Because, we finna get there. Top 3 means of suicide for black men. Firearm.
That's gonna be high.
Drugs. Opioids. Suffocation. Top 3 means of suicide for black females. This is kind of neck and neck almost. They have firearm 33%, suffocation 29%. So they right near each other.
Yeah.
And this one, opioid overdose 25%.
Yeah, that ain't that far off either.
They all neck and neck.
Them fucking pills, dog.
Now, like I said, because we was just finna dive into that, Chuck, I don't know how this is gonna go.
How far you want to go? Yeah.
Or how far you want to go. But I want you to be you. I want you to be able to, if you already haven't, be able to release this energy. Because knowing what you got on the horizon.
Yeah, man.
Especially with the assignment that God has just assigned you to. I want you to be able to just let this out and let it be what it may.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, first and foremost, I want to appreciate y'all allowing people like myself the table or chance to speak on this. So, like you said, because, the assignment that has been given to me by God is greater than me now.
Yeah.
So,
I'm comfortable. Which makes it harder. You know what I'm saying?
It makes it harder, but it gives me the motivation, confidence, because I could say that over the years I've been strong enough to, and I tell anybody, black men, if you any black man, black women, people, period. If you listen to this, faith and therapy hand in hand, it works. It goes hand in hand. Don't believe that you can pray it away or you can just go see a doctor and you good.
Yeah, you need both.
Both. Don't let nobody tell you different. But
and I think that with the duty that you've been presented with, now it's like, damn, I got to grind because I want to make sure her kids is straight. Yeah. Just to leave that legacy. Like, I want to be able to make sure that, you know what I'm saying, I'm leaving a path. Because that's still a part of you. Like, her children are a part of you, too. You know what I'm saying? Because that's coming from, you know what I'm saying, the lineage and shit. So, yeah. Definitely.
So, I'm just going to get right to the nuts and bolts of it. I ain't going to sugarcoat shit because we here now. I've been fortunate enough, like I said, over the course of years, sitting down with therapy and my therapist and been able to get it all out because at one point in time in life, shout outs to Rio, I think I kind of gave a snippet of it, I think, on one of his shows.
Yeah.
But I didn't dive super deep, but this is that moment. So 2014, I was in a relationship at the time. And, as things was transpiring, it was a whirlwind of things going on. At 2013, I had took a lot of losses. It was some major gains, but I had took some very heavy deaths, and I had lost a very close aunt to me. I had lost my last grandparent. I had lost my uncle, and I had lost my next door neighbor who was like a auntie to me, and it seemed like losses was just back to back that year. And I also lost a good friend. I lost another good friend right around the time I lost my aunt. So transpiring forward, that May on my birthday, my parents decided to divorce. They announced their divorce. Now, mind you, I'm fresh in the relationship at the time, still kind of in the honeymoon phase. Me and her, we rocking and rolling things. I'm on a high. But then it's all of a sudden like it just took a complete 180 in their honeymoon phase, which is out the window.
Yeah, man.
And it was September, and me and her had got into it real bad, and I was just in a super dark place. I was in a super dark place, and there was some things that was triggering. And I remember what was on my head was it was around the time that my mom's mother passed, and she passed in September around Labor Day when I was in the 8th grade, going into my 8th grade year. And so this was like around the time her anniversary. And I just remember I only thing I can remember afterwards was I tried to take myself out in her apartment. We had got into it, and all I remember is that she said she walked back in and she literally cut me down from the ceiling. When I came to, I couldn't see because I was in tears. Yeah. I was in tears. When I looked, and all I could hear was my mom. I guess she had called my mom or whatever, and I could just hear my mom's voice. I could just hear the pain in her voice. Yeah. Because my mom stayed outside the A, so she wasn't there. I could just hear the pain in her voice. But when I remember my best friends since high school, since '98. Shout outs to them brothers. They know who they are. They was there. Seth, Eric, them cats was there, man. It was hard. And I remember the feeling afterwards was a lot of people hadn't known what I've been suffering with. Yeah. And I had been going through so many, and
so it comes as a surprise to them.
And that was the hardest part, Duch, because at this moment now I feel like I gave an inside part of me away. That because I've been, a lot of people wouldn't know that I'm an introvert. Yeah. So, people think, oh, well, you got all these extroverted friends, but I was like, I'm
introverted as fuck, bro. Man.
Listen,
I only do that when I have to, bro.
Facts.
Man, when I'm in my element, in my zone with my folks that I'm comfortable with, I can be myself.
Exactly.
But amongst them, even though these brothers been knowing me since '98, I still ain't allowed that part of me to show. Only my family knew that.
Oh, okay.
And my mom. So I want to kind of jump forward a little bit. So after that situation transpired, I was on watch. My friends did a watch. And I still appreciate them to this day. They did the watch. Mm-hmm. They looked out for me. My family still didn't understand what was going on. My mama knew everything, but my sister was still in the dark about it. My dad, he was like, "What the hell?" What's good? I jumped fast forward to 2015. Me and my lady at the time, we still, the relationship is rocky. We still going through it. Because now I feel like everybody has been exposed to this inner portion of me.
Yeah, so you think they judging?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I don't know how people is perceiving me, looking at me. I'm just going, now I've been open. I remember me and her, we ended up having a spat at a good friend of house of ours, and some things transpired. Panic attack, anxiety attack, however you want to call it, that happened. I remember vividly my mom came to visit, and I had an attack, and then me and my father got into it. Now, mind you, a lot of people don't know, me and my dad relationship at the time was real rocky. It's better now, but it was real rocky because after the divorce, me and him wasn't seeing eye to eye.
I definitely get that shit.
And so 2015, now this is the part that was hard for me to say, hey, I'm going to let this out. But I said, you know what, fuck it, we here. I could care less how people look at me now. If you know me, you know me. I'm always going to be me. I'm always going to keep it a buck. That December 2015, we something transpired, and I remember that it was a couple of weeks before Christmas break because I was teaching, and I remember getting into it, and I called my mom, and I remember driving to Milwaukee County, driving up, to the mental complex. And I was like, I'm tired. I'm tired. And I checked myself in. And I was off the map for a week.
You checked yourself in where?
To the hospital,
Okay.
to the mental health complex over by Freighter.
Gotcha.
So I was off the map. I was off the radar for a week. The reality of it was, and this is not to put blame on anybody, so I don't really want to forecast anybody in the situation as if it was a negative thing, because it was just like, it's new to everybody. I remember my dad coming to visit me. And if you know my father, he's old school, he's from the streets. Some of the things he don't really understand or know. And I remember sitting up in there. I'm trying to better myself. And he's looking at me like, why the hell are you here? Like, you're not supposed to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having a conversation with my mom, and me and her just was on the phone just crying together, and she was like, I'm proud of you. And she shared a story with me that I had no clue of and never knew. She told me that when I was in 6th grade, she had found a suicide note that I had written.
When you was in 6th grade?
I was in 6th grade.
Okay.
I had written a suicide note. And when I was in middle school, I was super short. You know, I was dead short, probably the shortest guy in my class. And so I suffered from a lot of just bullying and trying to fight my way out of it. I was your Urkel. Like, literally.
Oh man, me too.
Damn, listen. And it was just like going through all this motion. Now I'm still tight with a lot of the guys from back then, even the ones that did pick on me. You know, me too. We tight to this day because we grow. We grow up. But I remember my mom shared that story with me. I was shocked. And she said she had found one at my house, but then she had also, my teacher never knew that my teacher had found the one I had written at school.
Oh, shit.
And when my mom shared that with me, she was like, you know, a mother always say they could feel what, because we come from them.
Mm-hmm.
And she always said, like, son, that's why me and her are so tight to this day. That's why I'm so adequate and sketchy when people come around my mom, because that's my world.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you get past moms, you good.
Yeah, that's your heart right there. So.
Man, like she come around and get a feel for you. She call you son. Listen, she mean that.
Yeah.
So it broke me because I could see her breaking, and I didn't know how much damage it did to my family until I started to actually sit down with my family and my peoples and my friends, my close ones. And they was like, man, listen, Charles, we all going through shit. Talk to us, bro. Like, you can't just, give. You going through all this. Niggas looking at you, seeing you break.
Yeah.
You playing Superman. We understand this alias, this Iron Man alias, bro, but we watching the armor fall off you. We watching you crack. And it's like, bro, like I said, with all the stress, with all the mental health, you got to figure, I'm 38. I done had a stroke. I done had a heart attack. I done damn near been, you know, it's so much.
All of 150 you had all that?
Man,
bro. But, you know, I say always that.
It be that stress, dog.
Stress.
It really don't be it be about the stress, bro. That's they say it, fam. Stress is a killer, fam.
It's a killer, but to go back to the whole the motion of the suicide, to kind of give people an understanding of when you think about suicide, it's not. I often hear people say, "Oh, it's from a selfish place," or if you commit it, you're gonna go to hell. Listen, I'm gonna tell you right now. When you in that moment, ain't none of that going through your head.
You ain't even thinking about that. Yeah.
None of that is going through your head. What you thinking of is you trying to stop the pain that you think you're causing those you love around you. You don't want to be a burden to anyone around you. And that's how I was feeling in those moments. Like, I feel like, man, me and her ain't getting along. I'm feeling like this the reason mom and dad ain't together.
Yeah.
Me and sis ain't got eye to eye.
Start blaming yourself. Yeah.
I'm blaming myself, big blame. Like, it's ridiculous. And at the same time, I'm like, okay, but here's the thing. What people don't understand, you don't have the adequate therapy in the black community,
to sort those things out.
Listen, dude, it was so hard, y'all, to really go and find an actual therapist. I remember having an older white guy sitting down with him. Now, I respect the fact because I went to school and part of my bachelor's degree, you had to do so many hours of psychological analyst for your degree. So I kind of got that side of that portion to understand what people go through to get, become therapists. But in Milwaukee, I listen to so many shows. I hear so many people talk about they got this therapist, this dope person. And I'm like, man, where was this at back when I was going through it? Because I needed that person. Man. I got a dope person down here in Houston. Or I had at least 2 dope people I got down here in Houston. Yeah. But back home, that was a struggle. Yeah. And even though you could go to your pastor, I remember, shout out to my big bro, Pastor Williams, Jared Williams. I remember sitting down and me and him having a real conversation. And I swear, till this day, I will always forever be grateful to bro. Yeah. Forever be grateful because he didn't judge me. He kept it 100 all the way through. And I'm talking about stay checking up on me. Made sure if y'all didn't see me in church, the next time I was in church, hey, Brother Smith, come up to the front. Yeah. So, but you need guys like him. And then at the same time, forcing you to say, hey, go get this person. Yeah. Go see this person. Or people being in your circle just to be around you because it's hard. And I tell any brother, sister, like, man, when you get to those stages and you start feeling that way, please don't be scared to think that your circle of people, because if they really fuck with you and really love you the way they say they love you, exactly. Don't be scared to let them know, like, hey, I'm at my wit's end. I'm falling. I don't know what the fuck to do. And I think for me, honestly, I've always been an emotional guy. So I think now as we getting older, I'm looking at a lot of my friends and we in the group chats. And sometimes I'll be thinking, man, we fucking off, stuff be, niggas ain't finna get that deep. But the moment it get that deep,
niggas be pouring it out.
Man. Ooh, I be like, hey, where the Kleenex at?
But real talk,
you just need one person to spark it off, and niggas start talking for real.
But why we hold that shit in like that so much until it take that one person to kind of lead the conversation until we all feel comfortable to start pouring out like that?
I don't know. I'm about to say I think it's a learned behavior, bro, because we always
it is.
Like I used to talk with me. Lakeisha used to talk about that. When you were a kid, you always told suck it up. You ain't hurt. Man up. All that stuff. Yeah. So we just build that up, man. That shit, it comes as a something that hurts us going down the line because we so emotionally unavailable in times when we need to be.
Black people need to get away from the word stigma.
Man.
We got to get away from that. We got to get away from that because it is doing us so much damage.
Man, that and the fear of judgment, dog. Like I think that's too. Like we so scared of what people gonna think about us by us talking about it.
Bro, once we get in the lane of not giving a fuck what people think,
man, I'm trying to tell you.
Imagine the shit you can accomplish, fam. when you just don't have, we just walk around worry free. I don't give a fuck of what you gonna say. Like, what does your opinion really matter to me? It's not what is gonna help me do.
Man, I'm learning that. I'm learning that through the books that I'm reading. Like, bro, everybody's opinion of you really doesn't matter because it doesn't shape how you live your life.
Facts.
That's just their opinion of you, dog. It's not your story.
It's not gonna make or break you.
On the real, so.
But the reason why some people have an opinion because they really want to live that way.
They want to say
but
something.
They scared to walk. They're scared to walk in that way.
Swear to God, fam. And they look at you like, damn, that nigga actually and then niggas will talk about it, bro. When
all said it best.
When it all comes down, boils down to it, that's how they feel too, low key on the inside, but they just don't know how to express that.
Perfect example, Chuck. When we used to take pictures in the club, niggas around us, I ain't gonna really name names. They be like, man, why these niggas taking pictures in the club? Why they working like this? Why they doing this? 7 months later, hey man, how can I get on with you taking pictures in the club, man? I want to make some money.
Come on, man. It's always.
So you see,
it's the leader.
There's more benefit to work and make the money in the club rather than to spend it.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, it's funny that when you bring that up and you think about it, you like, I come from the notion of, I always say this, it is kind of funny, kind of, giving the comedic part to this conversation. I always say, I felt like I would get the overlay of being around all the popular guys that I knew. But then if I see the moment I say that, everybody looking at me with the side of like, what you mean? Don't try to dismay yourself out of this.
No, there is.
You just as well known as the rest. Damn it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna be quiet. But it's scary because at the end of the day, like I'm looking at, like right now I've been working with elementary and middle school for quite some time. And I'm looking at a lot of young boys. And I end up, in the past couple of years, I'd have lost some students not to suicide, but to other reasons of death. And I can say this, that it took a toll because I see kids, their former classmates, talking in a habit of they don't want to be around no more because they done lost someone that they consider maybe like a brother or sister to them. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, damn.
You gotta think how fragile kids are. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
That's the time as a kid, you getting that shaping of what you're gonna be growing up into. You know what I'm saying? Or what, like you finding the things that you like to do and the people that you like to be around. And to lose one of those people, I'm sure is fucking traumatizing, fam. Mm-hmm.
Bro, the funny part is, I remember when Logic came out with the song,
oh yeah,
Hotline Number, and I ain't gonna lie, that was my jam. I definitely fuck with that song. When I first heard it, like low key, a lot of people don't know. I've been fucking with Logic for a long time. Like, like his music, I understood his music. Mm-hmm. I ain't really care about the fact of how he look or whatever the case would be. Niggas get caught up in that, but he ended up getting caught up in it. That was the thing that kind of fucked him up and shit. Exactly. And so when that album dropped, specifically that song, I was sitting there like just in a daze and just telling myself, oh, I could imagine how that would hit you. Like, because here's the thing. One, I didn't know nothing of that number. You didn't even know that number existed. I never knew that number existed. None whatsoever. I never knew of the hotline. People don't understand that all these things that they have out here in place, people still fail to realize that this shit is still taboo. And people still don't know the number and shit. Like, nigga, I just found the number out today when I was researching this. Yeah, fam. Like, it's been out there, but the fact that people still don't know the number that's what's fucked up, fam. It's a. You can text 3 numbers 988 right now. Right now, and it will get you right to. You can actually call it. Oh, that's what's up. So you ain't got to worry about memorizing that long ass number and shit. 988. Suicide prevention line. 24 hours. That's the thing that they don't tell you about. Yeah. They don't tell you about that stuff. And now here's the thing. Now we did this, at the top of the show, you brought up Twitch. You know what I'm saying? And
And this is like the seasonal depression type shit that's going on right now too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God! So here's the
I
thing.
didn't really think about that.
It is.
Yeah.
The seasonal depression, postpartum, all of these things that go hand in hand. You have to really be like, I tell people, the phone works two ways. We so caught up in the fact of, man, I ain't heard from folks. Dog ain't called me.
Exactly.
She ain't hit me. Well, niggas fall out every another day. But the moment something go down, the moment something transpires, damn, man. Now we got. Hey, listen, a text message don't hurt, y'all. Like, I swear to God, it don't. I done got random text messages out the blue from folks that I ain't heard from in a couple years. And I'm sure I done sent some random text messages out. I took a sabbatical from social media because I wanted to allow myself to incorporate into this new father role. Yeah, man. And just soak all that in. And so, speaking on this fact about suicide, I tell anybody that, man, just be open. If you thinking of these things, be open, because I'm gonna tell you right now, all of us have been to some funerals.
What?
And them funerals you go to when they your age, when folks is your age,
man,
and they yo guy, like, you know what I'm saying, like, Duch, me and Cuz know, like, you lost one of your Ace Boone Coons,
my nigga, bro.
And I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, a couple of guys have lost some people in the group, then lost some close people to them. I'm like, man, damn, that's. It's hard to even speak on that shit. It's hard to.
It hurts, and it's like, damn, dog. It's like now I'm getting to a point. I was like, dog, I just want to make sure that I'm here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Make sure that my health is all right. Making sure that my mental is all right. You know what I'm saying? Just so, fam, I want to leave a legacy, fam.
What's most important though, because the circle that we run into, we're pillars of affecting other people. Meaning that what we do as far as teaching, you being the mogul that you are, we doing podcasts or just everyday interaction with people.
Yeah, bro.
We find ourselves encouraging people, making people's days better. So therefore, we're pouring into people. But at the same time, it's very important
that you get poured back.
That we get poured back into.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That is a fucking
and
fact,
only know,
bro.
and you only know the way you can receive that.
That is a
but
fact,
it's important that you acknowledge that and that you're aware of that, so you can find yourself getting refilled.
That's a fact, dog.
Because you can only go as far as the car gonna take you till you got to fill it up again.
That's a fact, dog. Because you never know the struggles that the person that you think is the strongest person of your group or the strongest person of your family and stuff. You just don't know what they're going through, fam. Just a simple text or "I love you" or "what you doing" and all that stuff. That shit go a long way.
The crazy part is I can speak on this now. And I, to protect the innocent, no names to be said. But I remember after all this, I ran into my ex a few years back. And
that one that you was with?
I was with during the time of my suicide attempt.
Okay.
And I remember us having a conversation. And I sincerely, genuinely, for everything, especially that moment, I said, I'm sorry.
How did y'all ever have a conversation about it? You know what I'm saying? After it happened?
To be honest, we had conversations about it, but it was more like, swept under the rug.
Yeah.
But just touched on it a little bit and got up off.
Because it was like, you trying to get back in the flow of things. You don't want that to bring that down because we already facing so many other dilemmas.
Some other bullshit.
But now we both in different spaces, and that part of us is in the book.
Y'all gotta have a real conversation about it.
Real conversation, and we had that real conversation, and I was able to deep down from the bottom of my soul say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And when I say that sorry was man, I cried the Mississippi River saying that I'm sorry. Because that was like, because I was like, I felt like I owed you. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're
saying.
saying.
I felt like where we at now, like we're no longer together. But I can honestly say, like, I felt like this wasn't supposed to be the end. This wasn't supposed to be that. The story should have been written different.
Yeah.
So I felt as if me saying I'm sorry wasn't to relinquish for her, not to relinquish for me, but to that trial and tribulation, that moment should have never took place. But it allowed me to grow. It allowed me to recognize a lot of different things in myself. And I wasn't trying to do it. A lot of people be like, well, it's so many things, the gaslighting, the love bomb, all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
I genuinely just wanted to, from the bottom of my heart, because I felt as if that it was something that I had been wanting to say
to her.
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
And leave it as is. And then it allowed me to be a lot more open as I went forward. And when I started, in the whole dating realm and aspect, I started looking at things a lot different. I started to say, okay, you know what? Let me just not be. I was kind of a little bit on edge because I started to observe things a lot different. But far as that go, when you think about how other people view you, look at you, the judgment, I go back to you have to make sure that you know who you got in your corner. Now,
that's a fact,
I'm gonna be real about this shit.
Because there's a lot of niggas that say they in your corner.
And they not.
Man,
they really not
listen,
in your corner.
I'm gonna keep it a whole buck. Even in that midst, it was some shady shit that went on.
No.
When I say information got out there about my situation, and it was people that I wouldn't even expect. And that was tough to find out through the grapevine. Now, don't get me wrong, I cordially say what I got to say, but it made me look things a little different. And so when people be like, when you're a little closed off, I'm like, no, what you wrong? I need to know what you do.
Fam. I'm like, you people done told the stories of me just being closed off and nonchalant and stuff like that when it really be trying to get a feel of who you are and what you own, like you just said. And
then the thing is, going through it, we come from a city where we damn near everybody know everybody.
Yeah.
So the moment something gets out,
man,
you kind of look
at spread like wildfire, bro.
Like what the? And I ain't gonna lie, but I knew when certain. Here was the thing. It was certain close ones walking up on me like, bro, you good? But I didn't look at them funny when they found out because I was like, I know who you could have got it from. You had to get from another ace boon coon. So it was like,
yeah. He really checking. He really just checking on you. See, if
he checking. I was like, one of my big homies. He looked at me. It was maybe like a couple of weeks later. We stand in front of my guy's house. We outside his mom's house, and he pulled up. He get off the bike, and he like, come here, little bro. Man, what's up, man? Call me, holler at me. What's good?
Yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm good. He like, you sure? Nigga like, man, don't make me pull up.
But you appreciate people like that, dog.
Man, but I know what he had just went through because he had just lost one of his best friends a couple of years ago to that. And I knew who his best friend was because we used to work together. Okay. So that hit him different because he like, hey, dog, don't do that.
Yeah, I see what he's saying. I see what you're saying.
Don't do that. Like, so it man, to know you got some real ones in your corner, I tell people, man.
Like, this is my first time hearing about this, fam.
Hey, like I said, but you got to figure, though, like, many times me and you done crossed each other's paths.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just different things, but we know a lot of people in
common.
the midst.
Yeah, you got a lot of people in common, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of them things. Like I tell people, like me sharing my testimony, my story. Yeah, there's some parts that I may have left out because again, it's just to protect the people that was a part.
You don't gotta tell nigga. Tell this your story, nigga. Fuck what everybody else think about this shit on the real.
Again,
but
circling back to earlier, fuck what niggas gotta say.
Yeah, but it's just at the end of the day, it's just I want people to understand. Going back to the aspect of the important facts of suicide, people have to know and understand that when folks are in a very dark place, there are signs. Mm-hmm. There are signs that are there. Mm-hmm. And every person is different, but the signs that are there. The one thing I always tell people to look for is if you've been rocking with somebody.
I fuck with that. With that.
If you've been rocking with somebody and you know their favorite hobby or what they love to do.
Yeah, I remember Lakeisha.
And all of a sudden they cut that off cold turkey.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember Lakeisha talking about that for sure.
Man, get right to it. Because I'm going to tell you what the sign for me was. I stopped fucking with soccer. Clear.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's your shit.
Stopped. I'm talking about done. Like, that was it.
Yeah.
And I had... And the part of me was already messed up because I had broke my knee in 2012. That was kind of it for like the career.
Yeah. So you really was like fuck it.
So staying on the signs, like even though you fucking with soccer, did you see yourself like giving away any of like your prized possessions or like calling people or visiting people a lot more frequently?
Yep. I was hanging out with my auntie more. Me and my sister, we was talking a lot more. It was a lot of little random stuff that I was doing. Mm-hmm.
Out of character types things.
Out of character.
Yeah, okay.
And not saying that these are things, but it was just like I was always kind of like up under somebody.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. At the time, the person I was with, I ain't want her to go nowhere. I just wanted to be around her all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just the insecurities and the jealousies start stemming out.
Yeah.
I started even being around like Eric and them. Like the crazy part is I would get emotional in like arguments or not arguments, but debates we would have, or I would shut down. Y'all got it. Like, yeah. It was a lot of those signs. Like, yeah, I'm good. Like, or they have parties and stuff like that. I might come.
Yeah.
So, and drinking a lot more. Oh, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Finishing, man, listen, going through, I think I'm at least going through 2 bottles of Jose Cuervo.
Yeah, we were drinking a lot heavier than.
2.
A lot heavier than.
2, and I would say at least 2 in the average of damn near a bottle a day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the signs was there. It was definitely there.
Let me ask you these because during the conveyance of your story, I wanted to just ask a few follow-up questions, and these questions are not trying to pry or get any more in depth, but I just kind of want to let the listeners who listening just kind of have more of a better understanding of what kind of led to some situations. Mm-hmm. Not situations of what happened, but just kind of like your train of thought. Just thinking
thought process. Because I'm sure it wasn't a thing of today I feel this way, tomorrow I feel like I'm just gonna do it and shit. I'm sure it's a thing that just led up to it.
Like, so what was kind of like the boiling point? Because I know you talked about deaths in the family, moms and pops getting a divorce. Like, what was kind of like the boiling thing that just said,
the thing that just broke
the camel's back?
Yeah.
The best way you can put it.
Yeah.
It was 2 things. It was the big argument. Actually, the first big argument of the relationship I was in, and then 2, I had been thinking of. I had lost one of my older cousins on my mama's side. It's cliche to say she took her own life, but in my heart of hearts, I feel like she was murdered. But you know, and that had been riding heavy on my mind. And she, my big cousin, she was influential in my life. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was, yeah. I looked up to her a lot. Believe her, she, you know, God rest her soul, but I looked up to her a lot. Those two things was riding heavy on my mind that day.
Yeah.
And it was, like I said, it was so much that I was already, that was already transpiring in my head. So many things that I could speak upon, but those two things initially stood out that end up eventually getting me to the point where it was like, you know what, fuck it, I don't want. And here's the crazy part. Prior to, I think where she found me at was, I think in her kitchen. I think I had tried to attempt. I was doing like stupid shit, and it was just like petty shit. But I was like doing the most, literally.
Yeah.
And you know, and I'm gonna be honest, niggas make crack jokes about it, but you know, niggas would say like, yeah, you know, niggas always talk, you know, they try to kill, a nigga try to kill himself just to keep you around and this, that, and third.
Oh, yeah.
But
I see what you're saying.
I wasn't on that. I was literally on like,
nigga, I'm trying to get out of here.
I'm sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm sick of being a burden to people. Feel like I'm not important.
Yeah.
Because let me pause you right there, because I know people who's listening gonna probably pose this question like, so, and I'm not saying it in a malicious way or anything. So like, were you doing it for attention at that point?
No, that's what he's saying.
Okay.
He's saying that he wasn't doing, because you do get those people that's like, if they girl, you know what I'm saying, about to leave him, like, oh, I'm gonna kill myself type shit.
Okay.
But he's saying that he was like, no, I'm really sick of this shit.
Okay,
like, I'm
got
sick
you.
Yeah.
Got you.
You know, at the first point, I'm not gonna lie. First part is like it came across as like attention seeking, but I was so heavily thinking of my cousin, and then, like I said, I wanted things to go back to the way they were. I wanted my family back.
Yeah.
I wanted the people that
Talking about pops, like your pops and all them.
Man, I wanted all of that.
Yeah.
You know, like I was like, man, I'm that kid. I'm a kid at heart.
Yeah.
I felt, you know, in my heart of hearts, I never grew up shit. Anybody know me? I'm the biggest Snoopy fan you could probably think of.
No,
like,
that's a fact.
You know,
That's a fact.
I'm really a big kid at heart. Watch cartoons all the fucking time. That's me. Like, so I just wanted things to go back to the way they was.
Yeah.
And but at the same time, still trying to step into the realm of being a grown man. And it was like, man, I'm looking at all the people around me. I'm looking at Easy. I'm looking at cats have kids. Damn, you know, I'm looking at all this shit. I ain't nowhere near that. Nowhere near.
Oh, so like the comparison thing, like
it was the comparison thing. I'm like, man, yeah, okay. Niggas is like, yeah, I'm in, and mind you, I went back to go for my. So now I'm back in school for my master's, going through that. Like, I'm just feeling like it wasn't no advancement in my career. Like, I'm feeling like I done hit a glass ceiling. Like, shit just didn't seem like it was going my way. I'm like, man, what's the point of me being here? Yeah. What's the point? And at this point, I was like, man, I'm better off dead. Because, like, man, after a while, nobody gonna be checking for me. Like, that's just what was going through my head.
Yeah.
But I had, like I said, after having that conversation with my mother, she kind of always sensed it and knew of it.
Yeah.
And she always tried to instill the positive affirmations in my life.
Man,
she always tried to speak the good things into my life. Always told me to, and even my father, even as rough around the edges he is, walk with your head up.
Man,
you know, don't you look a man in the eye. You know, talk with a sense of urgency and pride because you my son.
Exactly.
You know,
bro,
trying to live up to those things. Just knowing the bloodline I come from.
Exactly.
But it's still so hard when you feel as if people don't respect you you know what I'm saying, they laugh at you, or you feel like you know, it was like it used to be a running joke, like, man, he's just doing this for attention. And I'm like, y'all just don't even.
Yeah, y'all
but
don't even know.
all right, you got it, and then I'll just walk off. You got it. So yeah,
last two, cuz, and it's kind of hard for me even to ask these shit because I know how they could probably conjure up different memories and everything from that day. But why choose the location that you tried to make the attempt, and why choose the means of which you tried to make the attempt?
The location wasn't a choice. I wasn't even thinking about where I was. Mm-hmm. At that point, I could have been at my parents' house.
Yeah. It was kind of spur of the moment.
Spur of the moment. You know, this wasn't no mapped out, laid out. I'm waking up. I'm finna do this.
That's crazy, dog.
Then I think I sent a message to my mom, a long message to a message to my mom and my sister. And after that, that was all she wrote. I didn't really give a damn less about this. As far as the means of what I was gonna do, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't have my firearm on me that day.
Or you'd have did that. You'd have used that.
That would have been it.
That's God, because you always keep that shit on you.
There you go.
Ever since I know you, keep that on you.
I didn't have neither one of them on me. And I remember my mom calling back, and I think she called my uncle, and he pulled right up and came and got him. He came and got mine. I didn't get my firearms back until I moved to Houston. A lot of people don't know that. My uncles kept track of both of my firearms until I left and moved down here. And my mom till this day will still be like, when I first moved down here, she was like still like
on you about it.
Yeah.
Worried, yeah.
Yeah. I can see that. I could definitely see that.
And I ain't gonna lie, some of my friends like, hey Chuck, you good? Woo, woo. Like, you know, I'm like, all right, I'm good. Like my homeboy Prince in Dallas. Man, bro, like my twin, he would, hey, yo, G-Paul, you straight? You straight? All right. And leave it at that. Because it's like, now I'm in a different city. I'm around some people that I kind of know, but don't really know. Mm-hmm. You know, so it's like, who really pulling up fucking with the kid? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, and I remember kind of, like I said, sharing a little bit with Rio, kind of giving him an insight, and that helped, and that allowed bro to be there like, okay. And then like I said, my big homie, like a big bro to me, my bro K Rice, he like, hey, yo, he snatched me up real quick, and then Eric, you know Val down here, so ran into him. He instantly, hey, yo, you good?
But yeah, it's just good having that circle of people, dog.
Man.
That you know you can talk to about it.
Needed it. So I was grateful for that. Definitely grateful.
Yeah. I definitely get that, fam.
And the most important thing out of all is seeing that you passing on the new generation. Bro, start speaking that type of like positivity and affirmations over your daughter now.
Man, dog.
Like, it makes a difference, bro.
I swear
like, every time when I drop Melly off before she go to school, while we in the car, bro, we say two things. I start a piece, then she finished the piece. That's how I know she's listening. Mm-hmm. I say it's nice to be important, but she end with, it's more important to be nice.
Man.
Yep.
And always be a leader and not a follower.
Yep. I make sure that.
Shit, you can speak it over your baby now, nigga.
Listen. I wake up and I look at her, and as I'm walking out the house, I just God, get me back to her.
Man.
That's all I want. Just get me back to her. I don't care what everything happened. Get me back to this house.
Yeah.
You know, because
Now you think different now.
Now that you done
Move
seen
different,
her, you done
yeah.
held her, you done heard her cry, you done changed that diaper.
She done woke your ass up.
Different.
man, listen, get me back to this house.
Yeah.
That's all. These faces that seen me walk out this house, get me back to this house. That's it. Man, listen, by any means necessary. I'm on my Malcolm X. Get me back to this crib.
Yeah, man.
And after that, I'll figure everything else out. You know, I'm not perfect by far. None of us are.
At all.
But
Still learning.
we still growing. You know what I'm saying? And my book ain't done being written yet. So,
At all.
you know, here I am.
At all.
I know we kind of touched on it during the conversation, but I still want to make a potent highlight of it, of warning signs of suicide. I know we talked about number one thing is just losing interest in things you love to do. Another one is, like I said, visiting or calling people more often, and more frequently. Giving away your worldly possessions, getting your affairs in order. If you see people doing this,
Start doing shit like that, yeah.
please take action.
Yeah.
Please
At
take
least
action.
try to talk to him, man. Yeah, see what's
Yeah.
see
I
what's
consider
going
that
on.
action.
Yeah.
It's nothing to hit somebody and say, "Yo, how you doing?" They try to give you like a little, like, "No, I'm good." I'm like, "No,
No, for real.
no, for real, how you
Yeah,
doing?"
exactly.
No,
man.
you know what
Good.
though? This part, especially and this is to the brothers that will be listening to this show or tune in, fellas. Let me help y'all out, man. I know we be in a group chats and y'all we be buddy chopping it up, blah blah blah, joking here and there. But niggas, take that one day, and if it don't matter who it is, I don't, you know, and this to the fellas that's even be reading the chats. Man, don't get in your head and be like, man, what this nigga on? Like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
No, cause that one moment
He might be sent trying to tell y'all.
Yeah.
he might, I swear. And so don't never look past it or look above it, like, you know, and I ain't gonna lie, y'all know I'm good for dropping out side chat. Hey bro, you straight?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what's good? Like for real,
And
for real.
I told a story about you being the nigga that prayed, nigga, in the chat. Like, put a real prayer in, like, nigga,
Yeah.
instead of saying, bro, I'm praying for you, nigga, put an actual prayer in the chat. Like,
But y'all know how black people
on the real,
say, I'm gonna pray for you, and that's the prayer.
Yeah. On the real. My
Listen,
nigga put
because
a-
bro, you know, at the end of the day, niggas be like, man, niggas be doing things
now I get that shit now. Yeah.
above
It
and
makes
beyond.
sense
It's
now.
like, bro, no, like, listen, if I say I fuck with y'all, I fuck with you.
Yeah.
And so, and that right there in that moment, I wasn't trying to be nowhere near fake. You know what I'm saying? We all in this group chat, we all that came together for however we came together. So now we here.
No,
and the brothers
I
been going
appreciate
through
that,
it.
bro. That stood, nigga. That I really appreciated that, bro. You just don't know how far that like that was. You really prayed for somebody, like, in the chat. It wasn't fake. You wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you. You didn't give it the praying hands. Like, you did a
bro,
real, like,
real.
like, for real. And that now knowing the background, like, oh, okay, now it makes sense and shit.
And you know, it's not easy because, like you said, we can throw the praying hands, but when I walk out, even if I do throw the praying hands or I'm praying for you, in that moment, I'm saying something in my head. But at that moment, I could kind of feel, for some odd reason, I felt it. But I think the reason I felt it is because I was also going through it.
Yeah.
You know, or I had went through it. And people don't understand. I think it was I think what parent, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I forgot what the situation was.
It was a heavy situation.
Yeah, it definitely
But
was.
bro, any of us, especially if dad, man, come on, man.
Yeah.
Cause now we all in the chat, but I'm not standing next to you where you can lean on me. You know what I'm saying? I can hold you up. You could drop. I had just saw you. And like I said, not to make it super sad, but I was watching. I was going through my TikTok and I saw where somebody had posted what just happened on the Best Man holiday. And that portion where Lawrence Chestnut finally broke at the casket.
Yeah, man.
And I said, and Tay Diggs came back if you don't seen the movies, you know what I'm saying? You know.
Yeah, that's a tearjerker.
But that was at the end of the day.
Man.
That's my brother.
Yeah.
Come on now, we gotta be able to do that.
We gotta do the shit that we saying we about.
And listen, Scarface, my balls is my word.
Mm-hmm.
So like pawns, but you know that. Hey,
Bro,
if I say I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it.
That kind of brings us to this quote, bro. The best currency right now is information and conversation, bro.
Man, I swear to God.
Facts.
Information and conversation, bro. The more conversation and information you share, the more resources that's going to come back to you in order to help you.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Big
Because I
fact.
think that especially topics like these that are so taboo and they're becoming more popular now because of the mental health conversation that people are having, but it's still in the black community. It's still taboo, fam. People still don't want to open up about those things. So we definitely need more conversations like this and less conversations about shit that don't mean shit to us.
Absolutely.
That's true. That is true. That is very true.
Shit that, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather have pods and conversations about shit like this than talk about the hot topics or the shit that's going on in social media and stuff like that, because that shit's so fleeting and everybody is talking about it. So what different take am I gonna give on that? But having conversations like these, every situation is different. You know what I'm saying? Like we could bring somebody else on and they probably have a different story,
different view
that Chuck had. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely love to be a part of conversations like these.
I'm trying to make a purpose, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to come back potting, because I wanted my conversations to be more purposeful and more intentional.
Yeah.
I want to have more meaningful conversations.
Me
Y'all
too,
know
man.
we can
we
talk
can shoot the
bullshit
shit
with
and
the best
joking.
of them.
Right.
But I think this is what
This what
elevates
sets the separation.
and separate, because we're willing to talk about those subjects people are not willing to talk about, and we're willing to go there.
And I think also to kind of like, you know, shout out to my, you know, to bro, you know, you know what I'm saying, he taking care of the situation, so he couldn't be here tonight. But I was thinking back to the last show y'all just did, and when he spoke about it, and he broke it down. And thinking of him and knowing him, I get it. Because even I said, you know, even I was like, man, I chuckled, you know, when I heard it, but I know, bro, I know how he get down. Someone else may be triggered and take it out of context.
Yeah.
But for me to went through it and know him, I didn't take it out of context. I was like, well, damn. But at the same time, I was like, knowing you,
you get it. Yeah.
And I know, because
you know it wasn't no ill intent behind it.
Behind.
And bro was one of the ones that was there. He, till this day, he was angry. He couldn't even speak.
Oh yeah, he was. See him, yeah,
he was
that you didn't say something to him about it.
Man, when I say
know.
I'll let him speak on that.
He said, "You talking about hot?"
Man, I'll let bro speak on that. But you know, like I said, it's deep. It's deeper than rap.
No, it definitely is, bro. Because you got to think, man, that is. Because it's like, damn, bro. I know you. If you going through something, why don't you just say something? That's what I'm thinking that. Because I know that's something that I would think like, bro, if you going through something, fam, just say something. And then I'm being on the other side is like. No, that should be hard to.
It's more easier said than done.
Yeah, fam.
Because you have those things of, again, what people think, the judgment. Look, I'll even put it out there. I had contemplated for a little bit, but you know, when people encouraged me of going to get therapy and seeing, I took that as like, nah, they're gonna look at me crazy. They're gonna think I'm fucking insane. Yada yada yada. But again, we all have different forms of therapy. This is why I like podcasts.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah,
I get to lay that shit on the line. I get to talk to people such as y'all that's going to give me a judgment-free zone. And frankly, I really don't give a fuck what somebody else is going to think about me now. Yeah. But this is more
you get to that age now, like, nigga, this is my life, man, I lived it, bro. Like, what you think is not going to change my trajectory of my life, dog?
Only thing I care about is what these...
Your daughter, bro.
My daughter.
I already know. I already know, fam.
it's a
The
brother
people
right
that
now.
the people that really matter, bro.
people that really
That's the
matter.
only people.
Yeah.
That's the only people you should be trying to put on
My
for.
family,
The people that
pretty much
really
my family.
It's somebody that we know. Well, I'm sure both of you, all y'all, we all know him. But I'm in a group chat with bro, and I told him like he's been doing a lot of dope shit. You know, with his t-shirt line, getting like having conversations with like different athletes and the whole yoga aspect and all of that. And I told bro, I said, bro, listen, you need to go. You need to go get that license for real, for real. Like you need to go get that because you only just a little bit away. And I was like, bro, like you getting your flowers. But bro, you got so many more flowers to go get
Take it to
that
the
you
next
deserve
level.
because you just that license, that certification away because he gets it. He gets it. And here the crazy part is, I think back like me and him talked about it. I was like, man, hey bro, I apologize for having that little spat or that little blow up at your little like family function or like little, you know. I was like, this back in the day. He was like, man, bro, you know, it is what it is, woo woo. But I'm telling him now because I'm seeing all the great things that he's doing. I'm like, bro, go get that.
Yeah, man.
Go get that because we need we need men
Like him.
like myself to be able to walk in the room and see this brother got his hat turned back. Woo, woo, he got the whole hey fam, all right. It's professional. But yeah, let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Throw this shot of Remy back real fast.
Yeah, but
let's get to the shits. Okay,
being able to communicate in a way that you can interpret that shit. Fam.
Exactly.
You can relate to somebody
fam.
like
yeah, I could go talk to a white man about my problems, but he probably not gonna relate because he don't understand it. Yeah,
that environment is different,
bro.
That environment is different. I tell anybody when you go sit down with these therapists, that's why people like ourselves be screaming for
more black
minority therapists because it's relatable. I had a black woman, dope as hell. The only bad part is she had mad clients, like plenty.
Oh,
so it was like,
booked.
damn.
Booked
Then I had
on the real.
I had
them be the ones, bro. Like you be like, because they be so good and they understand it, bro. Because they understand us. You know what I'm saying? Black people and shit. Them be the ones that be booked, bro.
Man, listen.
Especially
I had
black women, because you got the motherly figure on there too. Like, come on, man.
Here's the crazy part. She was younger than me, but she get it. She got it. And then I had this older Latino dude. And when I say he brought some shit up.
They understand it too, bro.
And I was sitting there looking at him like, hey, dog, you gonna be talking to me all kind of way. Like, I was like, hey, fam, I damn near hung up on him a couple of times. Like, bro, what we not finna do, G? Like, for real, you got two persons. I feel like you called me a hoe to my face without saying I'm a hoe. But it's cool, though. I'm gonna take this. But he made me understand different elements and aspects. And the crazy part is, because I'm telling him my background, right? So he had to flip the whole dynamic of how he came at me. Because he was like, I can't come at you regular. Why? Because all these terms that I'm using, all these, you know about this shit. He's like, you got a background in this. He's like, I'm surprised I ain't talking to another therapist.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, man, like, chill out. Like, Doc, I'm paying you.
Yeah.
Give me the shit. He like, hey, listen, we can either do this the hard way or the easy way. Pause. Like, no, he was
That's
really
crazy,
on
dog.
it.
He was the booty warrior.
But it's crazy because Jonah Hill just put out a documentary about
I gotta watch that.
about his therapist.
I gotta watch
that shit was so dope, dog. I'm gonna watch it again, but his therapist is cold. Like, I will fuck with him because he break. It's really about him. It's not about Jonah. It's really about the therapist. Yeah. Because he got like Tourette's and shit like that. Like, bro,
Therapist?
Bro, he got either Tourette's or MS, I think, one of those.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, bro. He be going to all that shit, bro. Then the therapist actually break down his methods and shit, too. So, it's a dope, man. Please go watch it, dog. I swear to God, it's dope, dog. You gonna love that shit. It's called, damn, I forgot his name of his therapist. It's his therapist's name.
But it's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix, though. Yeah.
Man, one thing I want to leave us with, man, because I know everybody is not churchy or spiritual like that, but even if you find somebody in that realm, fam, and you don't necessarily gotta agree with the methods of religion, just look at it as sometimes having like a life coach.
Man, dog.
Like
Shit, they all on YouTube, bro. They got the segments, they got all that shit, fam. You can go
All
find
of it.
whatever you looking for on YouTube, fam, just to get you out of those spaces, dog. Because I know we all get into dark, especially coming in out of COVID and the financial shit that we in right now, like the recession that we going into and shit. Like a lot of motherfuckers not gonna want to say shit, so they'll just be in that dark place. But it's things that you can watch and it's people that you can listen to that can help. You know what I'm saying? If you don't want to go search out for help, it's things that you could do internally that people don't have to know about that you can do to kind of help.
absolutely. Even if you don't want to attend like a traditional church, nigga, I'm sorry, I ain't even say nigga while I'm trying to convey this, but I know it's been kind of taboo recently what people talking about on Facebook. Nigga, it's okay to go to Evolve too.
No, for
that
sure.
church, fam, listen. I wanted to see what the hype was because I met Kenneth like before on the street and he was just chopping over. He a cool cat. But when I went and actually sat in one of the services before I had to go to my church and play, I understand why he got all the young folk, like the young adults in there.
He speak to them, bro.
Fam, it's like he's really sitting down and we just talking like this. But he's giving you those life gems in order and
that you
tools
need, bro.
that you need, bro.
I promise you.
I get it.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you don't want to convey what you're going through,
it's a lot of those churches down in Houston.
man, please.
Yeah, a lot of
Definitely a lot.
Just go
of
sit in there one time.
Yeah, man.
You'll
And they
get-
don't be long and shit.
Don't be long.
I said and shit. They don't be long, and they, you know what I'm saying?
It's really come as you are. You ain't got to
man.
wear the quote unquote churchy attire.
Yeah, bro.
It's not a traditional church services where they running all over the place and all that type of stuff. Fam, it's really a church tailor made
for younger
for
people.
us.
Yeah, fam.
For our demographic.
Yeah, man. And
And
I'm glad they
another-
got those, dog, because
But this is one. I don't even mean to stray this way, but this is one thing because y'all know I'm in church a lot.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
right.
And this is the one thing that kind of ticks me off because people have this ideology of church only being one way.
Yeah, exactly.
And how we grew up.
Exactly.
And what we know it for.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so glad there's other churches out there now that's tailor-made to the way you like to praise God.
That's a fact.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That's a fact.
I love that.
I do too. Because I don't have to step in the church to still, like they streaming it. Like I can see it. I could be at home.
Chill.
And still get that same word, the inspiration that you need, fam.
I'm like, I understand what Kurt Franklin said when he said I lost my religion, because he's coming from the standpoint where the things that we've been taught and never questioned growing up about what church is and what the Bible said until you actually go do the reading and research for yourself.
That's a fact.
Like you really ain't got to dress up every
Man, come on.
Sunday to go to church.
Come as you are.
And we can this can be a whole nother podcast.
I don't know.
Which I'm not gonna go into.
But
I swear,
Bro, when I finally understand and start doing the research and the teachings for myself, and I start questioning people on certain things, they couldn't give me.
They couldn't give you the answer.
Guess what the answer they gave me.
It's in the Bible.
This is the way we was taught coming up.
See, and that's
they never did the reading for themselves.
And that's the same thing in life, bro. Outside of church, people do stuff because that's what they was taught to do.
They was taught. They never did go read. That's another thing that I still love my daughter. I said, daughter, I'm your dad. I understand you take a hold of what I'm saying, some stuff, but sometimes I tell you wrong because I know I want you to go look it up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
there you go. There you go.
And I'm trying to teach her that now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Don't trust, fam. Don't trust.
Do the reading for
your
yourself.
goddamn self.
Don't trust all that
That goes
information.
with anything.
But and I just want to instill once I have my child that you could do whatever you want, fam. I swear to God, if you
Absolutely.
put your mind to it, you can do whatever you want. Don't do what you see me doing. Don't do what you see your mom doing.
Do what
Do
you wanna
what
do.
you want and what makes you happy, fam.
Absolutely.
You know, the one thing I said to tie all of this up is all these things, and I would say to those of our generation and to the older generation, our parents and grandparents are still around, even to our aunts or uncles.
Mm-hmm.
And even to and if you got comrades who really don't have a good sense of logic themselves, and they got kids, pull them to the side and have the uncomfortable conversations with them. As an educator, as a parent, just wearing many hats. I tell people now, just how y'all talk about the aspect of children, with mental health and suicide numbers increasingly going up. The one thing I want to utilize is having those uncomfortable conversations.
Make it normal.
Make it normal.
Yeah.
And pull. And here's the thing. One thing we fail to do is you have to sometimes narrow the conversation down, especially for the generation above us, because they not privy to what's going on. So they
didn't get the information.
They still stuck.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't finna pull out no book and read. Remember, we're the collegiate generation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we're the generation that majority of us, the first generation college kids, went to school. Some graduated, some went 3-4 years, some going back. We that generation. We are the came up with the technology. We're those babies.
Mm-hmm.
So the kids up under us, the younger kids, like I tell my students, hey man, listen. Your grandparents, my parents don't know how to use a cell phone. I'm teaching them how to use a cell phone. You ain't got to come show me how to use no iPhone. Mm-hmm. So, it's a big difference. Mm-hmm. But I say all that to say this, hey, when it's talking about these mental health, we talking about these suicide things, get to the table. And, sometimes you got to tell older folks, hey, shut up.
Man.
Feel your feels. I'm listening. I'm not saying nothing. I'm listening. Mm-hmm. And even if you don't want to say nothing, I'm here. You need a hug. If you just want to sit down, you just want to go somewhere, I'm here. I need you to know that I'm here, because what kids are not hearing now, even adults, we're not. Somebody is not here. Everybody wants to relate. Everybody wants to. Yeah, I remember I went through. Blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. Man, sometimes it's shut up. Mm-hmm. Shut up. Because sometimes a person just need to hear that peace.
Man, dog.
And they just need to just cry. Yeah. Or they just need a big hug. Or they just need, hey, can we go get something to eat?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
That's a fact. We got to be comfortable being uncomfortable in those situations.
Bingo.
That's the only way we're going to get to the growth is, they say that in everything. The only way you grow is to be getting to those uncomfortable spaces, because being comfortable, you just being complacent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Man. Good one, man. You know what I'm saying? The room still works, fam. It still pump out good episodes, though. You know what I'm saying?
So before we get out of here, man, I just want to thank Seth. I said Seth. I seen him here. Duch, I need that.
I got you. That's funny.
I just want to thank Duch and our guest Charles. Man,
I appreciate it, man. I love being a part of these conversations. You ain't got
coming on and just talking about this, because, like I said, I felt compelled, because I'm a big watcher of signs, and I just wanted to speak on this and get this out. Because, like I said, I don't know who's going to help, who's going to hear it, but I hope it helps somebody. Especially if you feel like you have a sense of helplessness, worthlessness, and you just need somebody to talk to, or you just want to go somewhere and have these type of conversations. Just seek help. Don't be afraid to use that hotline. So, Chuck, what's the hotline again?
So the hotline number, you can either call 988, text it 988, call it, or you still got the suicide prevention lifeline. You still got that, and that's 1-800-273-8255 talk. So again, 1-800-273-8255, and you can call that at any time. Also, both of those are 24/7.
24 hours.
24 hours.
Days a week.
like if you speaking a different language or whatever, they got those for you. So man,
It's resources.
people, it's resources out there, y'all. Just
please use them.
Please use them, man.
And I can say during pandemic, a lot of therapists was offering free services. I know Taraji P. Henson.
She paid for a lot of them, yeah.
She has a dope network where she connects a lot of minority therapists. And I was able to find a few and revert people to them. And I know it's a lot of dope therapists in the city of Milwaukee. So if you're looking for them, they're out there. You just you have to reach out. Some of them put themselves out there. There's a lot of names. You may not know of them, but they there. So just the help is there, y'all. The help is definitely there.
Yeah, man.
I don't have a fancy key to leave you with, like Seth be doing, because that's not my lane. But the one thing I do want to leave you with is be mindful of your words.
Man.
Yeah.
The words are very powerful. Your tongue is very powerful when you speak on people, and when you speak over people, and when you speak about people. And like I said, you never know what somebody is going through. So be very mindful on how you speak to people.
Be impeccable with your words. That's one of the 4 agreements. Be impeccable with your words because they mean so much.
Man. They mean so much, man. So I want y'all to tell everybody about this episode. How many bodies? Everybody.
I'm definitely gonna put it up on every day next week. So
I want y'all to tell everybody about this episode because this needs to be out. People need to hear this. People need to be aware.
Especially what we're going through right now with the seasonal depression. People need, need to know that they got resources and stuff like that. Because it's a tough time of the year and shit. So.
Man,
for sure.
Love, live life. Stay connected to the source, and everything else becomes a resource, man. Keep God first.
Man.
This is Sweats and Suits Podcast. I am Easy.
And I'm Duch.
And this is Sweats and Suits Podcast, man. Thank y'all.